Okay, so Gen Z is just simply unemployable. And every generation that comes after is also very much unemployable or even worse off. And as much as the general consensus going around is the fact that the job market is absolute trash these days, and I'm not denying that. Obviously, it is next to impossible to get a job, especially when there are so few positions open. But you can't use that as an excuse every single time you're looking for a job or for your reason as to not have a job. The job market, the government, whatever the big problem is, that's out of your control. And the unpopular opinion, or whatever I'm about to say that's really unpopular, that it's actually also your fault that you cannot get a job. I mean, think about it. Anybody who's in their 20s and younger, what are our work standards? If the older generations would accept anything, basically, they would go work in horrible conditions. I'm not saying we have to do that, but our standards are through the roof, and not everybody. I'm not like this, but I have run into so many people who say, I can't have a job. And then I ask them, all right, well, what is it that you're looking for? And they're like, work from home, which basically means I can do whatever I want or do nothing. And I'm free to roam around my house, make coffee whenever I feel like it, pretend I'm joining meetings, but I'm actually sleeping. So having full autonomy, getting paid a reasonable amount, what they think is reasonable is actually the equivalent of someone who has many years of experience, not just fresh out of college. On top of that, benefits, dental care, vacation pay, mental health days, all of the above. This is what they bring forward. This is what people like us in our generation bring forward to the employer. How does that make us look? We look so unattractive to a potential employer, especially if this is what we ask straight up in the interview within 5 minutes of them meeting us. What kind of first impression do you think you're setting? And I'm completely on your side. Obviously, it's absolutely sucks to have to be in this job market right now, hunt for it, get humiliated when your degree is worth nothing, while also trying to have some basic working standards for yourself. That's completely reasonable. But let's look at the employer side. Put yourself in the manager's shoes. If back when I used to hire a lot of people and conduct so many interviews, I'll have an ad posted. It's in person, customer service, sales, whatever it was, face to face. It's in person. You have to communicate with people. This is not a work from home position. What do you think I got in the interview? Some of these students, or fresh out of college, fresh out of uni, with their paper, with their degree, are sitting on the other side, if it's a Zoom interview or they come in person, and they are making demands. Like, they think they're the ones who can negotiate here or have the leverage. They really don't. And I understand what it's like to be in that position, but when I'm the one doing the hiring, look at that perspective. You're sitting there, you told me your name, I barely know anything about you, I asked you a couple basic questions, and you're already asking me, oh, can I work from home in this position? Now, okay, it's just a question, I get it. But what do you think that tells me underneath that? This person already doesn't want to put in the work. Because let's be honest, no matter how you sugarcoat it, working from home is more cozy, more comfortable than working at a place. And I get it, working from home is nice, but if you don't have the opportunity, if you're not currently employed and you can't find a job, I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to work in person like the whole world has done forever. A job means there's a task to be done, so you go and do it in person. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not that crazy. But when you're asking that as the first thing, you're just telling me you're lazy. 1, 2, that you're a little bit stupid. Why? Because the ad says it's in person. Why are you asking me again if you can work from home? Are you not attentive? You're just showing me red flags right off the bat. As a matter of fact, it got so bad that I had to include as one of the questions in my interview to ask, are you comfortable with making the commute every single day to the office physical location? Which usually is like a no-brainer. Yeah, no shit, I'm coming to work. But this was as a warning or as a preemptive statement telling you that, hey, you're going to be coming here if you're going to work here. Don't ask me to work from home. Next, after you raise some red flags, you're already asking about benefits and all that other stuff. And to be honest, I don't want to get into it because you have yet to prove to me you're somebody worthy of working here, or that you actually walk the walk. You're not all talk. But yet you want something from me already. You want me to give you benefits, a permanent position, guaranteed hours. I'm still trying to figure out if I like you, if I think it's going to be easy to work with you, if you're someone who is, just a normal human being. Then let's talk about mental health days. I'm going to be straight up. Mental health days are complete bullshit garbage. Is mental health a real thing? Absolutely. But think for a second, why is it that the thought of mental health days, like when you actually don't go to work because of that reason, what's so unattractive about it? You might be going through a lot. You might actually have to take a day off. So tell me your grandma's in the hospital, you can't walk today, your head's in the gutter, and your life is upside down. Tell me that, and I'll give you a day off. But here's what happens. And you guys kind of ruined it for yourself, for your own generation, because a mental health day has turned into what? It turned into, fuck, the weather's not nice today, I don't feel like working today, I'm just gonna call in for a mental health day. That's not mental health, you're missing the point. That's just you being lazy. So mental health days, for the most part, turned into, I have a little bit of anxiety, like all of us do, I don't feel like coming into work today, I don't feel good today, so I'm just gonna say it's a mental health day. What is that? How can you run a business from the employer side? How can you get things done if your employees are not working whenever they feel like it? If you want to work whenever you feel like it, go work for yourself or make a business, become self-employed, do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't come to work expecting to just work whenever you feel like. On top of that, if you tell me in an interview, if you ask me, are there mental health days? Yeah, I'll tell you, sure, you get X amount of days per year that you can take off for whatever reason. You don't have to tell me. You can just take those days off. I can tell you that. But what are you telling me? You're telling me that you're probably going to be very unreliable and very flaky, because people who prioritize that, because you're asking that in the interview, clearly that's important for you. It just means you're not very stable. And we all go through things, but if I'm thinking, hey, my company needs people who are going to make this vehicle run, I can't put my bets, or I can't invest into a person who is mentally unstable. Like, that's just the real world, guys. Get over it. There's nothing evil here. There's nothing crazy. It just means you're unreliable. You're showing that. And here's the biggest one to top it all off. In the first 5 seconds of you meeting me, or the employer, the manager, wherever you're going for an interview, you have to state your pronouns. Aren't we past that already? Why are you telling me you're a they, her, attack helicopter, whatever those things are? And on top of that, you have to tell me your sexuality. I don't give a fuck. Why are you coming in here telling me you're pot or pansexual, whatever that is? I don't know what that means. I don't care where you put your penis. That just tells me this is your identity, and that matters to you far more than work itself. Because in the real world, we don't actually care. Nobody cares what you do in private. You're here to do our job. But because you're telling me what you do in private, well, now I'm just thinking you're mentally insane. You have a mental problem because you feel the need to tell people where you stand sexually. That's weird. When did this become normal? That's very weird. And obviously there are laws against that. It's not like I can't hire you because you are of a certain orientation. That's not at all the issue. But from experience, people like this have lasted 1 to 2 weeks. No more. You guys can't work. You're so obsessed with what you have in your pants, and if it's male or female, that you don't even want to work. I'm telling you, I have hired people like you or those kinds of people. I have worked with them, I have trained them, and it was always a negative experience. And on top of that, these kinds of people are looking to get offended by anything and everything. They think they can come into your workplace and ask, it's kind of offensive to me that you don't have on the walls everybody's pronouns. And when I was new to that, I just thought, oh shit, like, am I in trouble here? Do I have to do that? This place isn't really about these things. If you want to be called a certain way, great. Tell me your name, tell me your nickname. I don't care. If you're a guy and I think you're a guy, great, you're a guy. I don't care what's in your pants. But when it becomes explicit, that's not what we're about here. And then I realized, no, fuck off. I don't have to put your bullshit rules on my wall. I don't have to do that. You're coming and applying to my workplace, to my company, and you want to set your standards. I guess you're just not going to have a job. And not because of those reasons, not because of the way you are in your identity, but because you are a weak employee. And it's always been the case. You guys suck at working. I just can't put it any other way. You're really, really, really bad at doing any work. You are extremely lazy. Tomorrow you will have a mental health day. The next day you will have a mental breakdown. And on the last day, you'll say, this work is too demanding. What's too demanding? Asking a customer if everything's all right? Like every other customer-facing role? So for this entire message, it's not meant to be a negative message, but this is meant to wake you up and also make you understand that, hey, there's actually no competition. If you're Gen Z or younger, just understand that most of your generation is completely fucked. It's completely that way of what I've just described in this entire video. And if you're not that way, if you're someone who's like, I can work, okay, I'll come to work if I need to, I'll come there in person. You want me to work 5 days a week? I'll show up 5 days a week, no problem. Unless I break a leg, unless some bullshit happens, knock on wood. It's actually wood here, it's a table. Then you will be hired for the position, or at least you will have far higher chances because most of the employers, they are older than you, which means if you stand out among the group of gray matter that is applying, you will easily outshine everyone. They will be like, no way, somebody who's young and not a complete retard, you're hired. So as much as the job market sucks right now, you can't control that, but you can control your employability. You're fresh out of college. You're not going to get paid as someone who has 10 years of experience in your field. You just won't. You got to start somewhere and then work your way up if that's what you want to do. That's it for today. I'll catch you guys in the next one.